Hello and welcome to Back at Camp, Mojave County's only outdoor television show. I'm your host, Don Martin, and on today's show we're going to talk to a couple of young persons who recently were involved with the Pintail Slough Youth Waterfowl Camp. This is an exciting program that the Arizona Game and Fish Department and some other organizations sponsor, and it helps youth get involved in waterfowl hunting. It's a great show. We're going to have some good pictures for you, so don't go away. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Hello and welcome back to Back at Camp. I'm your host, Don Martin. On today's show, we're going to talk to a couple of young people who were recently involved with the Pintail Slough Youth Waterfowl Camp. Now, this camp is designed to introduce persons to waterfowl hunting. With me today is Laura Borden. You've been here before. Mm-hmm. And Ryan.
How you doing?
It's her brother. Okay, now, so how did you guys get involved? This is not your first year you've been involved in it. Laura, how'd you get involved in this?
Well, Jim Dritch, he was talking to you about it, and Game and Fish mentioned it to you that there was openings left that we could join.
Okay. And Ryan, how many times you been involved with this?
This past time was my second time,
Okay.
which is going to be my last time.
Because now you're going to be too old for the next one, right?
Right.
Okay. And you've been involved in, this is your
Second time, yes.
second time, okay? Now, this thing is like a 3-day operation where you guys, you met down at the Topak Elementary School, and I do want to say right here and now, I want to thank John, who is the principal down there at Topak, and the school board, because they allow these kids and their parents and mentors to come down there and stay in this school, and actually you go through a lot of classes and learning, and then when they come back, they get to go hunting, and it's a great thing, and the school board allows them to do it. The principal, he's just awesome. By the way, John just won the Educator of the Year award for the Game and Fish Department. So, huge supporter of the program. So, tell me, what did you do down there, Ryan, on Friday when you guys got there?
We got there, you set up where you want to sleep, and you kind of like reserve your own little spot. And
You're in the gymnasium.
Or the library. They opened the library this year.
Okay.
And made it so you lay down your bedding and you put out your clothes and everything, so people know, okay, this is where someone else is sleeping, don't bother it. And we were told that we were going to go out to the desert and set up a shooting range to get us ready for the next day of hunting.
Okay, so what time did you guys get there on Friday?
We were told to be there by 1:45, so we were there around 1:30-ish.
Okay, so in the afternoon, you guys are going to get there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you both went. You bring your own bedding,
Yep.
right? You're
Yes.
gonna sleeping bags, whatever you're going to do. Okay, so you got down there, you got your spot all set up, and then you went out and with some volunteers. Do you remember who the people were that helped you on this?
I'm not sure their last name, but there was like Dwayne, and he is part of a Phoenix team, a trap team. His kid, another kid, they're all there, and a couple instructors that he had.
Tom Slaughter, I think, was there.
Yeah, I'm not sure of.
So they brought a trailer that basically had all this, had a trap machine set up and had the whole operation set up so you guys could actually practice before you even started hunting on shooting clay targets.
Yeah, they even let us use their ammo and loaner guns.
Okay, so you did you guys bring your own guns?
Right.
What did you use?
I used a Mossberg 512 gauge.
Okay, and what did you use?
Remington 1187 20 gauge.
Which we just happen to have here, folks. And I'm gonna hand this to Laura, and she's gonna show us and tell us about this shotgun.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, now what did you just do there?
I'm checking to make sure it's not loaded. or
Okay.
anything. No shells are in there.
That's the most important thing when you pick up a firearm, is that you check to see if it's loaded or unloaded. Now, this is what kind of shotgun is this?
A 20 gauge.
Okay, so this is a 20 gauge shotgun, and why do you use a 20 gauge shotgun?
Because it's a shorter barrel for me to use. It's a little bit lighter.
Okay, And the gun that you use, Ryan's much bigger than this.
Yeah, and it's got a wooden stock, so
Okay.
not so light.
Okay, so you're using a 12 gauge shotgun, and Laura's using this 20 gauge shotgun, right?
Yep.
And of course, folks, you can get ammunition to hunt waterfowl. You have to use non-lead to hunt waterfowl. So this ammunition that they were given for the hunt was non-lead versus when you're clay target shooting, though, did you use just regular shotgun shells?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Okay, let me check it. Nothing in there, I've got it. Okay, again, she's not real big, so this is a shotgun that a person could use on a hunt. This is for a lady or a junior, and it's light, it's easy, and it doesn't weigh a lot, and easy to shoot. You do pretty well with it.
Yeah, I like
Yes,
it.
she does. Okay, so that's what they used. Now, when you went out to the range and they set up these clay target simulated shooting situations, the targets would come in, and you were using that gun. You were using your Mossberg. And how'd you guys do on the shooting?
Pretty well compared to last time.
Ah, getting better, huh?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
I did pretty good. I hit just about everything that flew. So
Okay, and this is to give you an idea on some of the angles that you may be seeing when you're sitting in a duck blind
Right.
the next couple of days, right?
Yeah, the second day we went out there to practice, they switched the
Machines
machines up. Instead of going this way, they're making it go like this and then outwards.
coming like their stuff flying
Yeah.
over you or coming from an angle. Okay, and now they had certified instructors there to help you and to kind of teach you about what to expect on this deal, right?
Yes.
And what'd you think about the instructor staff?
They're really good. There was this one younger girl, she wasn't real experienced, and so multiple instructors took turns showing her different angles and different ways that she could practice.
Okay, now just so everybody knows, this waterfowl camp is for persons from 12 years old to 17 years old. So there's, you're going to have younger people involved in this, and some in this case that didn't have much experience at all. So, but they have certified instructors there. So if you're thinking about getting a son or daughter or grandchild involved, understand there will be mentors and instructors there. So that's a good deal. So Friday afternoon, you guys are practicing, and then what'd you do after Friday afternoon shooting?
We went back to the school and we went into a classroom where they showed us the different kinds of ducks there are and how many you can shoot and the bag limit.
Okay, and what is a bag limit? We hear people talk. So what's the bag limit? What's
How
that
many
mean?
you can shoot and carry with you at that time, the
Okay,
day.
during that day,
Yes.
it's the number of waterfowl, or depends on what you're hunting,
Right.
that you can take during that day. So they had, I understand there was people from the refuge there that told about regulations. Ryan, do you remember what some of the regulations were that they talked about down there?
like rules on the
Yeah.
refuge.
Yeah.
You're only allowed to have 25 rounds per person, per day, I guess you'd say,
Right.
at a time. You can hunt till 10, and you can't drive your vehicle out of there until 10. So that way you don't ruin other people's hunts. So if they're doing good and you're not doing so good and you want to leave at 10, you can leave at 10, but
You can't drive into
can't
it.
drive it.
And just so people understand what the deal is they have different blind setups. I think there's about 9 blinds
Yep.
set up down there. And so you go out early in the morning and
Yep.
you took your decoys and
Yeah.
everything out.
They
right?
say they want you there 45 minutes prior to shooting time so that you have time, you won't ruin anyone else's.
And there is a specified shooting time, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's based on sunrise.
Yep.
So everybody knows what time it is before you could take a first shot.
Yeah, there's no
Yes.
excuses because they give you a paper that has all the shooting times throughout the entire waterfowl season. So
the folks there at the refuge, they came and talked to you about the special regulations, because there are this Topak slough does definitely have their own set of regulations. So you had people from Fish and Wildlife Service talking there. I think Tom Bagley from the Arizona Game and Fish Department gave a presentation on how to identify different kinds of ducks.
Yes.
And waterfowl in general. And I think he talked about some geese and some other waterfowl. Ryan, what kind of ducks did they tell you should see down there?
They said this time of year they were seeing a lot of canvasbacks. Not as many mallards as they would like to. A lot of pintails, which are after the name of the slough, and they were seeing a lot of flights of snow geese flying,
which they call the geese, right? Right. So you were seeing snow geese down there. You had a lot of different varieties of ducks down there.
Yep.
And so after the waterfowl identification, do you remember what the limit was?
How many birds?
Yeah. Remember how many birds you could take?
7 ducks
Seven,
and
then you can
10
have
snow geese.
Yeah.
And then there was
That's it.
limit on the big
type of the birds.
Then you could limit out 25 coots.
coots. What are those?
Those are like mud ducks. They're not real. Depending on how you cook them, they're not so good.
So if you're not going to eat them, do you shoot them?
If you're not going to eat anything, you shouldn't shoot anything.
There you go. That's exactly right. If you're not going to consume what you're shooting, don't shoot it. I mean, a lot of people don't utilize coots and gallinules, and they're kind of vegetation eaters. A lot of people don't eat them, but like she said, if you don't eat them, don't shoot them, even though there is a limit of 25 per person down there. So after you go through the classes on Friday night, how long do those classes last?
Usually probably about 45 minutes.
45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And how many different classes did you have that night on Friday?
2, but kind
Two.
of combined it
Yeah.
to 1.
Okay. All right. And the instructors seem to be real knowledgeable down there?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're very
Yeah.
smart.
Tom Bagley, Steve Rice, and
Brittany was there?
Brittany. Yeah, but she wasn't. I mean, she was involved, but she wasn't involved like
Right.
because
She wasn't involved in the teaching.
She was just there to.
Okay. All right. So there was game and fish personnel, personnel from the refuge,
Zach.
and then I guess Chad Villamore, I think he's the fire chief for
Yeah.
Golden Shores Fire Department. He
Yep.
was there. So you had a lot of volunteers there.
Yes.
Okay. When we come back, we're going to take a little break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about your actual hunts. Folks, don't go away. When we come back, they're going to tell us about their actual hunts that they had with the volunteers and staff down there at Pintail Slough. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
I thought mine was a decoy. It stood so still, and I was like, wasn't sure. So.
Welcome back to Back at Camp, Mojave County's only outdoor television show. I'm your host, Don Martin, and on today's show, we have Laura and Ryan Borden, who are talking about an experience they recently had at Pintail Slough as part of the waterfowl camp there. Now, when we left, you guys had talked about the Friday evening stuff. Now, you get to go hunting on Saturday morning, right, Laura?
Yes.
And you guys were together. Mm-hmm. And who were your guides?
Jason Knight was our mentor, and Jim Rich was our guardian for the day.
Okay, so you guys, there's 4 of you in the blind.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you guys get down here in the dark, right?
Yes.
And Brian, what did you guys do?
Well, we got there, and then we set up the decoys how we think.
You set up the decoys?
Well, our mentors did.
Oh, so Jason Knight.
Yes, they brought all their decoys and their waders, and they set them up They set them up to what ducks stick together, the same kind of ducks, and they set them up how they feel is necessary for them to look natural.
Okay, so they got the spread all set up, and this is all done in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
You guys was it cold down there?
Just 25 degrees.
25 degrees. Did you have some of those hand warmer things?
No, you don't need those.
Oh, you don't need those?
No, it wasn't that cold.
Oh, it wasn't that cold. But you had cold jackets, cold weather jackets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're all set up. You're going to use the 1187.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what kind of shots you're using in those shells? I mean, you're shooting steel, right?
Yes, because you can't shoot anything else. That's
Right. You
illegal.
remember what size?
I think she was using 3 inch
and then
3
4-shot.
3 inch 4 shot.
Yeah.
What'd you
'Cause
shoot?
I was shooting 3-inch 2-shot.
2-shot, okay. You're shooting at 12 gauge, you're shooting at 20. So you got a shooting time, okay, and everybody's waiting. Everybody has their watches set. And were there birds flying around?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there was plenty of flocks of teal that flew by and landed in our spread.
Before shooting light or after?
Before.
Okay.
And then we look over to our left of the blind and we see this snow goose fly into the snow geese decoys, and look to our right and another one comes into the duck decoys.
So you guys actually got 2 geese that have
each
landed
side.
On
Yeah.
opposite sides of the
of the
blind.
spread. Okay. So, and this is before shooting time?
Yeah.
Yes.
So all you can do is just sit and watch.
So, yeah,
And
and it was
here
like
we could
2
listen
minutes.
to them. They were sitting there talking.
Splashing around. I mean, we knew they were still there, so we knew they weren't going to go anywhere because they didn't have any clue we were there.
Okay.
And come shooting time, I mean, we didn't take our first shots, and boom, boom, you hear 2-3 shots ring off.
Down
down
in the
this-
marsh?
Yeah.
And so Jason and Jim look at us and go, well, you guys better stand up. It's time. It's showtime. So we stand up, and I look over at mine, and he knows we're there now. And we don't see hers on her side because we figured, okay, let's go opposite sides so, we're not shooting across or anything.
Sure.
And so I look at mine, and I thought mine was a decoy. It stood so still, and I was like, wasn't sure. So I put my gun up, waiting for him to fly off, tried to make noise, and he didn't. So I dumped him.
You shot him on the water?
Yeah, I shot him on the water.
Our mentor allowed it.
You did a water
Yeah, he was trying to get his wing underneath him, but it wasn't going to happen.
So Jason said, go ahead and shoot him on the water.
Told him that.
Absolutely.
He told him that. Yeah.
Told him, and what did you do?
Well, my goose, he was over with all the others, and we couldn't find it because he was hiding behind the others. And this goose was not very intelligent because we were walking towards him. Jim Rich was, by then, his feet were in the water, and the goose wasn't moving. And he's making noises, and then right when he got up, barely off the water with his foot out in the water, I dumped him right there because I wasn't going to shoot him on the water.
Of course.
And Jim,
only Ryan shoots him on the water.
Absolutely.
And Jim Rich said, you don't shoot him off the water, do you? I said, no.
Why don't you?
Because you want to give them a little bit of chance, play a little fair.
Yes.
Well, when geese are stupid enough to stay on the water after knowing that there's people around, the genes in the stupid brain don't deserve to live.
Oh, okay. So you're just thinning out the dumb ones.
Yeah, justifying.
But you let yours get going. It actually took off.
Well, about this far off the water. It was done.
It got up to leave and you shot it.
Yeah,
Did you hit it?
yeah,
One shot?
yeah.
How many times did you shoot?
1.
Well, when they're on the water, just sitting there, that's okay. So here it is, first thing off the bat, bingo. What did you shoot?
Ross's goose.
Okay, you got a Roscoe, which is that's a very rare bird. What'd you shoot?
A snow goose.
Was it a young one, old one, or?
It was a little bit younger.
Okay, it was a younger snow goose. So, boy, you guys started off. You got a Ross's goose and a snow goose right there. So then what happens?
Then after that, we waited a little bit. Nothing too much was going on, and
Did
see
you hear
here.
others shooting down the?
Oh yeah, there's quite a bit
We'd
of
see,
shooting.
we'd look up in the sky, we'd see a duck, so we get down, and then it turned around and it started flying down the slough, and we knew it's going through the gauntlet, it ain't gonna live. All of a sudden, boom, 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 we hear the shots ringing off. So.
Right. So you had birds flying. It was
Yeah.
good. I mean,
We could see them fine, but they just weren't in shooting range.
okay. And you guys knew that shooting shotguns with steel shot, you had a pretty good idea what your ranges were.
Yeah, I brought my rangefinder, ranged the water, so I knew how far 50 yards was up, and then I looked in the air, check out, 50 yards looked the same, so I knew.
So you guys are watching these ducks fly. So anything come in range? Anything land, so you had to shoot it on the water? Jeez.
I didn't shoot nothing else on the water.
Oh, okay. So did you shoot anything out of the air?
Yeah, we had two mallards come in, and I shot the Drake mallard, and got him, and Jim Rich found him, and then had a Drake redhead fly by, and I shot him. Just barely caught him, and and we saw him kind of land further down the blind, the water. So we gave him a little bit to see if he was going to go die or whatnot. And we walked down, and he's in the bushes. He kind of swam out, and I had to shoot him on the water. I had to. He couldn't get a wing under him.
He was in pain.
Okay, so we finished off the redhead that you shot. And redheads, you don't see a whole lot of redheads because redheads are a diving duck, and you're looking at puddle ducks, primarily
Right.
Yes.
in the marsh. So you got a Drake mallard.
Yep.
One shot, one dumped him. Huh?
Yeah.
And then you didn't shoot the hen.
No.
Okay. So then this redhead comes by and you dump him. What'd you do?
I congratulated him.
Well, I know, but I mean, as far as do you get any shots?
I only got one of those shot, and I was gonna go more, but I would have been hitting him with my gun, so I stopped.
So
I wasn't gonna.
So you
continue
guys
following that bird.
established your shooting range,
Yes.
right? And what
Yes.
was safe, and you could have took a second shot, but you would have had to swing over by him. So you
Yeah.
didn't do that. Okay. So, but you did get another shot at a duck.
Yeah, I shot twice, and I got the goose.
Okay. So you got a shot at a duck, shot at a goose. Okay, and he knocked down a redhead and a mallard and a goose. And how long could you guys shoot? What shooting times?
We could shoot from 7:15 to noon.
To noon. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And did you guys stay in a blind that long?
Yes.
Did you see other birds?
We saw them, but they weren't in a shooting range, or they were over at other blinds, and they were coming this way,
Yeah.
and they turned.
They told us, because Jason knows that slough pretty well. And
He does. He's excellent there.
And so he told us, he goes, wait for the 10 o'clock flight, and you'll see a bunch of snow geese in the air. And some of them might break off, and they might come over to our spread, or they might all make the left turn into the Ag 1 field.
Right.
So come 10 o'clock, 10:15, they're a little late, and here they come, and all of a sudden, you got a couple of them break off, and they're calling as hard as they can. I mean, Jim and Rich, both of them. I mean, they're using mouth calls, or they're blowing into their actual call. And we got a couple, and some skybusters shot at them about 200 yards away from them.
Okay. So you had geese that were breaking off, but other people
Scaring them.
and so they never made it into
Yeah,
the
so they
blind.
went back
Yeah.
to the original group, decided
Yeah.
that was a lot safer than coming.
Sure. So you guys hunt till noon. Then what do you do the rest of the day?
We got back, we took pictures with the whole group of every junior and parent and mentor and everything. Got back to the school and had lunch, and they said, okay, well, now you have, whatever you want to do for the next couple hours.
Free time.
Yeah. So then they opened up the range again. So I said, if you want to go down there, you can. If you want to nap, you can. So I tried taking a little nap, and then there was people watching movies, so we went down to the range and.
Okay. Now, were you instructing on how to clean these birds?
Yes, Jason Knight was the instructor how to clean them.
Okay. So you got them cleaned, and you're going to eat them. Yep. Now Sunday morning you get to go out again.
Yes.
Different mentors and.
Different blind.
Okay. And what did you guys do?
We were in blind 1 with Jim Rich and Brittany Olson.
Okay. And
So-
how'd you guys do?
Pretty well. We did good.
What'd you get?
I got a green winged teal and a gadwall.
Wow. What'd you get?
I got a Drake pintail.
Oh, a beautiful drake. You're going to
Yeah.
see the picture here. It's a beautiful drake.
I got out of the blind because I looked down because I was attempting to use my duck call that I was given, and there's no birds in there, so just trying it, and I was getting quacked back a little bit further down the water in this little pond that we're in, and I looked down the binoculars and I said, I don't think that's not a coot. So I get out and I thought it was a wounded duck, so I went to go look, and it was a hen green-winged teal. So I shot at her, and I hit her, and then I look up and I see this Drake pintail flying by himself, and he's coming right over me, 35 yards, and I thought, man, this is gonna be awesome. So I shoot, and I hit him pretty good, and I get another one in, and I shot him again.
Wow. So you ended up with a drake and the green wing, and you end up with a gadwall?
I didn't get the
Yeah,
green
after
wing.
Oh, you
we
didn't
got
get-
the green wing, and Jim Rich told me to get it, and when it flew off, and then that's when the gadwall went this way, and we thought it was the teal at first. So I shot him, and he went over to next to blind 2, and that's when the other mentor found
Okay.
it for me.
So the bottom line is, on that second day, you get a few, right? Did you guys have a good time?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
A lot.
Would you recommend it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, folks, we're out of time. I really appreciate Laura and Ryan coming today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Glad
Thank you,
you
Don.
guys enjoyed yourself. Folks, if you get a chance, get your kids signed up to go to that youth waterfowl camp. They hold it at the first of the year, every year, down at Topak. Until next week, this is your host, Don Martin, telling you to keep your firearms oiled, your fishing lines fresh. We'll see you next week back at camp.